You can survive a bad day. You can survive criticism. You can even survive failure. But when your own mind turns on you, that's a different kind of fight because the attacker knows your name, your history, your regrets, and exactly where to hit. Welcome to Articulated Illustration, where we see life from unexpected angles. I'm your host, Dwane Richardson Sr. This podcast is sponsored by me. And if you want to invest in purpose and build something beautiful together, let's make it happen. Today's episode is called Mental Mugging, when your own mind becomes the attacker. What mental mugging is? Mental mugging is where your own mind ambushes you with thoughts you didn't invite, didn't schedule, but keep entertaining. It's replaying conversations that already ended, rehearsing arguments that would never happen, revisiting mistakes you already paid for. It's punishment without a trial, conviction without evidence, no witnesses, no report, just you getting jumped by your own thoughts. Why is it so effective? Mental mugging works because it sounds familiar. It uses your voice, your tone, your memories, your weak spots. It doesn't yell, it whispers. You should have known better. You always mess this up. This is why they left. And because it sounds like you assume it must be true. But familiarity is not the same as accuracy. The real damage. Mental mugging doesn't just hurt feelings. It steals momentum. You hesitate. You second guess. You overthink. You shrink your plans before life ever has to. You don't stop because you failed. You stop because you talked yourself out of trying. And the scariest part, from the outside, nothing looks wrong. Inside, everything stalled. How to fight back. You don't fight mental mugging with positive thinking. You fight it with interruption and authority. You slow the thought down and ask, is this fact or just familiar? Your mind does not need silence. It needs supervision because unchecked thoughts become beliefs and beliefs decide how far you go. Today's articulated illustration. A mugger attacks in the dark because darkness gives confidence. Mental mugging works the same way. The moment you bring light, awareness, truth, and perspective, the attack loses power. Not because the thoughts disappear, but because they're exposed. And exposed thoughts don't run your life. The real battle was never physical. It was always mental. Before temptation becomes action, it becomes a thought. Before fear becomes paralysis, it becomes a suggestion. Scripture doesn't say guard your circumstances. It says guard your mind. Because what gets repeated in your mind eventually gets believed in your heart. And what's believed gets acted out in your life. Here's the danger. Not every thought comes from wisdom. Not every feeling comes from truth. And not every voice in your head deserves obedience. The enemy does not need to control your body if he can influence your thinking. That's why the attack feels so subtle. That's why it feels familiar. That's why it sounds like you. But influence is not ownership, and a thought is not a command. Renewing your mind isn't about being positive. It's about being disciplined. You don't let every thought stay. You don't let every voice speak freely. You don't let every memory rewrite your future. You take thoughts captive. You test them. You replace them. Because spiritual maturity isn't about never being attacked. It's about knowing which thoughts are allowed to remain. Word of the day, discernment. Discernment is knowing which thoughts deserve attention and which deserve eviction. Not every thought is wise. Not every feeling is a guide. And not every voice gets a vote. Application: the next time your mind attacks you, don't wrestle with it. Pause. Name the thought. Question it. Then move anyway. Progress does not require a peace of mind. It requires movement while the noise is still there. Final thought: mental mugging only wins when you confuse familiarity with truth. Take your power back, supervise your thoughts, and don't let an unchallenged voice decide your future. If this episode challenged you, that's your cue. Follow the show, share it, sit with it. And that's it for today. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs it. And always remember to do what's absolutely necessary every day and keep illustrating your life. Why? It's your dream, your vision. Keep the pen in your hand.